G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm going to be kind of watching as this goes along because it's a video where I documented everything I journaled this week, but it kind of flips between a bunch of stuff, and fun fact, haven't journaled in 2 days. So this does kind of really only account from Monday to Wednesday. My week just got busy, and believe it or not, I choose to film these videos on times where I'm working on workshops and I can't show you what I'm doing in some of the journals. So I guess there's that. I'm kind of working on it here. You can see. Don't stop the video and try and figure it out. You'll see it soon. My Halloween workshop is coming up. It's starting September 11th. There's some information about that on Instagram. So I'll let you know more about that as we approach. But it's going to be weekly. So you won't really be missing out on anything if you end up joining a little later, but just always make sure you check for that return student coupon. Haven't sent it yet, but I will. So that'll be good. Anyway, this is my 5-year journal. This is the thing that I've been trying to actually catch up on this week, in between all of the workshop work that I've been doing, all of the other social engagements that I've been trying to get to. I've been going to dance classes. I've been really making sure that I keep social, because in these periods where I don't perform, I don't spend as much time socializing with people, and I really notice a difference in my lifestyle and like my quality of life. So I really have to make sure I make an effort to do that. It does mean that I'm still kind of figuring out my schedule. I don't know, I spent the whole year kind of trying to figure it out, and then it switched up again in such a big way that now I'm trying to figure it out again. Maybe I'll just never figure it out. Maybe it'll always just kind of be something I tackle month to month or week to week. Who really knows? But I've been trying to catch up on this 5-year journal. There's still a whole chunk that is missing. Thank goodness I have my camera roll, I have notes, I have lots of information about the days that were missed. So it's just kind of going back, like this is the 15th of July, going back to then and filling the days in. On days where I really just don't know, I'll prompt myself with something else. Like I'll kind of ask myself a serious question or something a little bit deeper that might reveal where I am right now in life, or what my thoughts are, what my feelings are, and that's just kind of something that isn't very date specific, but it is time specific or period specific. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily need to know that I felt sad on July 15th, but maybe at this period in my life, you know, at this age, at 34, maybe I feel something specific that I wouldn't feel next year, or maybe I'll feel even worse next year. Who knows? Hopefully not. Why is that coming up like that? Why is my brain thinking like that? No, nothing's worse. I'm very optimistic, despite what you might be catching from my words. And I'm going through it and I'm kind of figuring out all those blank pages. There's a post-it note in the journal. You can kind of see that yellow post-it note sticking out there. I check off each day as I go. I'm very list focused. Like if something's on a list, I'll pay attention to it. You can see in my planner as well, that's kind of how I plan. Even though I have the daily run-on of things, I have the monthly look, I have the yearly kind of look, which is really just for my health effort stars at this point, my tracking, you know, my red dance stars, my green Zumba stars. I did go back to Zumba this week, so that was interesting. Also, my stamina is completely different now that I've been doing dancing for a much longer period than before. I didn't find Zumba that difficult, and that might sound like a good thing, but I really enjoyed the challenge of it, and I don't know, like, I don't want to say it's lost its luster, but there was something a little off for me. So there's a couple of teachers that teach like crackheads, so I really want to go to those classes because I think that would be the drive to push. But even this one, I was like, I remember her class being really high energy, and even though it was, I just barely broke a sweat. Like, it felt like the same amount of energy as walking around the park. So it's not to pat myself on the back. I kind of knew my stamina and my energy would improve, you know, dancing, especially dancing outside on the street, you know, in 50-degree heat. So I felt like something would change, but I didn't think it would make me less interested in it, especially right now. I need to go to dance class this week, and to kind of balance them off each other, I love dancing so much, and Zumba was kind of that replacement for when I didn't have it. And it's also much more economical to go to a group fitness class because I've got that monthly subscription. Each dance class can cost upwards of $20, like just to go to one. So you really want to make it worth your while. And then the one I went to was so much fun and it was so good, but I thrashed my neck. I can barely move at this point. Anyway, so I got a lot of stuff going on this week, but I did manage to find some time just for some art in my art journals, if you can believe it. My journals really are for everything. There's journals, there's planners, it's a brain dump, it's figuring things out, it's planning, it's workshops, it's, you know, trying new ideas. But then there's also this free period that I actually don't typically capture on camera. Stuff like this I would keep for myself, but because I was committing to doing every bit of journaling I did in a week, and because I wasn't showing you any of my workshop stuff, I was like, I gotta show you something. So I decided to put it on. And it was a bit of a struggle too, because I was really telling my brain, like, no, this is stuff you would do by yourself. Don't do that. But here it is. Hi, Bianca. Do you want a voiceover? Cat's meowing. So this was just a couple of fairies that I did based off of this Ida Rentoul Uthwaite. I want to say that's how you say her name, but it's a very, very difficult name. And I think maybe she's like Victorian era Australian, I want to say. Much like Cicely Mary Barker, who was a renowned Australian fairy artist. I would like to be one of these Australian fairy artists. So I've really been diving into that. Had a blast doing these too, but the heads were all off. I kept erasing them. So I ended up going my stencil, and I like to, you know, use something that you like, you know, kind of don't fix it if it's not broken. So I took the proportions for the head, at least, from the other fairy that I'd already drawn before, and then just try to replicate those by measuring out the oval and the head. If you kind of break down the oval as the full face and the head as this circle part from like the nose, the ear, there's a actual way that when you break down a skull, it's called some method, but I've forgotten. Anyway, but it kind of breaks down that cranium and the jaw. It's usually more like a triangle-ish shape and a circle. So all of that to say, that's how I grabbed those proportions and made them look like they were part of a family. The rest of the limbs, they were completely off, but I was just more wanting to explore the kind of like the vibe, the feeling, the clothes. Oh, hello video. I remember stopping myself to do that. What a loser. Love it. This is, again, my 5-year journal. I mean, she came out to play this week, but I need to catch up, so that's not a complete shock to me. The green star I'm putting in here is for the Zumba class that I went to. I'll track it in the monthly, and then I'll track it in the yearly. That's where those health effort stars go. And we've got, at this point, you can see down the bottom, there's a little key there. We've got green for Zumba. This is my first green one this year, can you believe? And blue for walking. So, because I usually do walks around the park. Red, dancing, and which includes class or performances or rehearsals or auditions. And orange, Sky Zone, trampolining. There's only one in there. And the gold with the black outline is semaglutide, which I'm on my second skinny jab now. The police have come to get me. And also there's a pink one in there for weights. I have some hand weights just down there that sometimes I'll pick up in between doing some things and just give a little hand weight workout. I'll type in like seated hand weight exercises for seniors and do like a 15-minute course. Only because I'm honestly not trying to do the most, but I just want to be guided through the whole thing. And I think there's some pretty good ones on YouTube, so do that if you're looking to tone up your arms a bit. I'm not trying to get jacked. I just want to tone up my arms and, you know, just up here, just make it a little bit more tight and toned. So here's some more journaling. I think I wrote Jealousina Marie Smith, or Jealousia. Sometimes I'll turn a word into a name because it's funny, but I was feeling very big jealousy last week, if you can believe. Not unusual. I think this really happens whenever I've stopped performing. I become very eagle-eyed on everyone that is performing, and I really struggle with not feeling jealous. And in fact, I actually don't tell myself I can't feel jealous because I think it's just going to happen either way. I tell myself I have to work on channeling that jealousy into something that's not destructive and that reinforces some kind of positive outlook. So, because I just don't think the jealousy is going away. I mean, I can't take away what I want and what I desire. And if I can't give it to myself, then I'm just really stuck up against this kind of looping back and forth in my head. So I just accept it. I'm like, well, jealousy is, you know, not the worst thing in the world. It's just kind of signaling to me that there's something I want that I can't have right now. And, you know, let's find those coping mechanisms that are a little healthier. So that was all right. But, you know, journaling is one of those coping mechanisms for me. Again, probably not something I would share with you online because it's personal, but here comes the week of journaling. I told you I'd share it. This is getting my workshop together. I'm in this workshop again, this journal. We're all over the place. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is trying to figure out the name of the workshop, and I think I wrote, oh, for my Halloween workshop, name TBD. And at that point, I really did think I was going to come up with some incredible name. Turns out I just called it a Hallow Workshop, and I don't love saying it out loud, but I think I like the way it's written. You know, I mean, I'm going to try to alliterate everything as well, so I feel like I haven't come up with some good alliteration, and I did a whole bunch of mind mapping and word associations and synonyms. I was up in the thesaurus all night. I couldn't figure it out, so this is what it is. I'm actually not mad about Hallow Workshop. I just don't like that as a sequential thing. It would be like Hallow Workshop 2 or Hallow Workshop 2025. Do you know what I mean? I think I wanted something specific, but because the lessons are all just very Halloween inspired, there's not one, it's not all candy or all witches or anything. I didn't want to be too specific and confuse people. Because if you say like, oh, you know, Witches Journal Fest, which I would never, but just in case I did, everyone would think it was about witches. And then as soon as I start teaching something about skulls, people are like, it's not a witch. So naming conventions are a little tricky, but that was the journey I was on there. And I wanted to hand draw the logo. I just love hand drawing it instead of doing it on the iPad. Although I have been on the iPad like crazy this last week for Collage Club, which you'll see soon. This is the last bit of journaling that I have to do again in my 5-year. I haven't journaled for 2 days, so I'm 2 days behind again. Just seem to be chasing my own tail with that 5-year journal this year. That's not unusual, but this does seem like the worst I've ever been behind. I'm slowly getting there, but it's a lot. Anyway, that's it. That's everything for this week. This is everything I journaled that wasn't workshop related. Hope you enjoyed watching. I'll see you again really soon. Bye.